Hello all. In this lecture, we'll continue working on entities, we'll explore diagrams, and we'll create reference relationships between all those entities. So if I right click on entities, add entity, I'll give it as name of marital status. This won't be extending any entity and it'll be of basic entity type. We'll go to next and I'll keep the default settings for the primary key name, but for ID generation, I'll mark it as manual, as this will be our reference data table and we would be passing the primary key for this entity. The data type would be string, and let's finish this. I'll save my entity. I'll go to attributes. I'll create one simple attribute, marital status. Now please remember that you can put decent description as well as documentation. This will be of string data type and the scope would be pre-consolidation, and this won't be mandatory. So let's click finish. Now, as it is a reference table, just like country reference table, we'll add complex attribute for dates. So effective dates, and we'll select the complex type that we created before and click finish. We'll save this. Now we have got 3 entities, 2 basic and 1 fuzzy entity. Now let's close this and add few more attributes in customer entity. So we have got the customer ID, the name details, occupation, mobile, email. Now let's add address details as well. Address line 1, we'll keep it as string, finish. City, finish. I'll add postcode and click finish. So I'll save this entity again. So now all our 3 entities are ready. Let's close this and let's try to create relationship between these entities. So now there are 2 ways you can create relationship between the entities. First one is in the model design. If you see the reference relationships, I can right click this and click on add reference. Now here I have to provide all the details. So let's create one reference relationship here, that customer has country. Then referencing section talks about your child table and reference section talks about your parent entity or table. So we'll select customer and parent would be country. If you see, all those labels and other details are populated on its own, simply because we have checked autofill here. Now we'll click finish and save this. Now we can see that there is a relationship here which has been created under this reference relationship section. Now we'll create the other reference relationship via diagrams. So let's explore diagrams now. So basically diagrams is a pictorial representation of your data model along with your relationships, hierarchies, etc. So it's just like other data modeling tools. Now let's create a diagram. So I'll right click on diagrams. Let's give it a name, customer data model, and then click finish. Now if you can see, you have got a white canvas and here is a palette from where you can add your existing entities or create new entities or add existing reference relationships or create new references. So if I click on add existing entity and click here, it gives me all the existing entities in the data model. I want all of them here, so I'll select all and click OK. Now if I move it to different locations, I can see that the relationship is already showing in this data model. So customer is a child and country is a parent. if you remember, we haven't created country attribute in customer. It is showing just because we have created this reference relationship. So now I would like to add the reference in this diagram itself. So if I click add reference and always go from child to parent. So customer is my child and marital status would be our parent. So if I start dragging from here to here, you can see most of the details are already populated. You just have to validate you are happy with the naming convention, your child is customer and your parent is marital status. You just click finish. So now if you can see, we have got another attribute, marital status, which represents the foreign key from the marital status entity. Let's save this diagram now from here. So we can see we have got customer data model. Now you can create multiple diagrams. Let's say if you have multiple domains that you are mastering, like customer, products, location, you can have individual diagrams with specific domain. Let's say customer and all its related entities in one diagram, product and all its related entities in one single diagram. Or you can have one entire picture where all your domains are talking to each other via relationships. You can have that diagram as well. In our case, it's just customer data model, and that's why we already got 3 entities and we have grouped them together in one single diagram. So now we have got customer data model, we have got 3 entities and reference relationships. Thank you.